Cool cats, cool dudes, and Brendan Aaronson's sweaty sock. Welcome to We All Love Leeds, the show where we discuss our love of Leeds, but not Brendan Aaronson's sweaty sock. How you doing, Mr. Ben?
I'm good. Are you blaming the weight of his sock on the shot at the end there? Is that what you're trying to do? He should have shot
Might
with
have
his
had a little
foot.
bit too much perspiration in it.
Yeah, should have shot with his left
He should have
foot.
done anything except for what he did. Anything.
But I'm not going to have a go
How
at
you
him.
doing, sir?
He got us a point. I'm good, man. I'm good. Look, we'll get to Brendan soon. Yeah, very well. Good week. Yourself?
Yeah, no complaints in all seriousness. Obviously,
Good.
quite frankly, we are late because I was having a bit of a chinwag backstage.
I was having a rant, wasn't I?
Yeah. Well, we get a bit, you know, can't do it, quite frankly. But like, you expect me to go like, oh, I'm sorry, I was running late. No, I was sat here, I was chatting to Ben, and then realised, oh God, it's 8 minutes past 9. We better press the button. Anyway, but that's what we're here for anyway, to have a chinwag. So I'm doing that a lot today. Sorry. Anyway, what do we usually start with? The season's back.
Good evening, Russ.
That's what we should also start with. Is Russ Morgan is in the chat. Good evening, we all love. I believe that is his tribute to Unai Emery.
It is his tribute. It's like you should have signed him years ago, but you didn't. You went with Jesse Marsh, and that's why you are where you are.
True.
Did that not have remnants yesterday of Jesse Marsh? That football, I don't know. Apart from the beginning of each half,
I'm starting to wonder if it just wasn't a destined fit. Like anywhere else he's going to go, he's going to do well in future, and it's going to prove that everything he said was right, and it just didn't work out for him at Leeds. Whereas obviously we're all kind of. I'm not saying we want him to foul, but we are kind of like wanting a bit of like, no, we actually want to see that your methods don't work.
It's not so much that with me. It's as long as I don't have to listen to him talk about it. I don't care. Do you know? It's the guy loves the sound of his own voice, a bit like us. Hey, Moo Moo. Yeah. One moment. My granddaughter's here.
No problem. So, how are you doing, Russ, in all seriousness?
As it stands.
See you in 2 minutes. Okay. Yes, Sweetie's in there for you.
Well,
sorry about that,
start the show, Ben? No problem. The way we usually start the show, the Sunday roast is back.
Sunday roast.
The season technically did open on Friday night, but the elite football opened yesterday technically with the Manchester City versus Manchester United to determine who are the champions of the Community Shield. I personally describe this as a match between a team I don't like and a team I don't respect.
So my understanding is the proceeds of this goes to the community of Manchester then.
See, my understanding was it was always called Charity Shield because all the gate receipts went to charity, right? But they obviously then wanted to stop doing that, and they basically then got McDonald's, etc., to give money to charity on their behalf, and they keep the gate receipts. I don't know how that actually works, but why would you change the name if that wasn't the reason?
I was just under the understanding that they stopped giving it to charities and put money into local communities like sports ventures and whatnot. But
you're probably right.
But I'm not sure which communities that they'd be. I would have thought that the beneficiaries of yesterday should have been communities of Manchester, seeing as that's what it was basically.
No, you're probably right.
I'm not sure. Probably looking far too much into it.
Yeah, I don't care nearly as much as probably people in Manchester do. And if you are watching this from Manchester, welcome. I don't know why you're here, but welcome.
But so Johnny Evans. Did you not just know as soon as camera went to Johnny Evans, you knew, did you?
Yeah. It was so I'm still trying to see when the ball come down to earth. It was
It's still out there, mate. It's still out there.
Yeah. I've got a trajectory. It should land sometime on Tuesday lunchtime. But while we wait for the ball to land from that penalty, there was a meme you did send me. Speaking of Manchester United, scum. There are varieties of planes in the world, and Manchester United have theirs to reflect their status in the English game at the moment. So, pay for that, man. Also got I've got live footage of Chelsea's bench this season. Ben, do you know they have like 45 players on their books?
48 was it? 48.
Oh yeah, well yeah, I saw a thing with because it has Conor Gallagher on the list, and obviously they pushed him out.
I'm gonna upset you here now, Tom. Right, there was 5 goalkeepers on that list, and Eddie Beach wasn't one of them.
Why is Eddie Beach not on the list? I mean, you're upsetting me, but John's the one you're really upset because John's Mr. Eddie Beach fan club member, or leader.
Well, Eddie Beach should be on that list.
Sorry, we don't usually do this, but we're going to check the whereabouts of Eddie Beach because we'll know what he's doing these days. Well, we have an
For the
actual
absence of John this week, if you don't know who Eddie Beach is, just Google it. Bless his little soul. It's very rare we protect Chelsea players, but Eddie Beach.
He's currently playing for Crawley.
Ah, so
on loan from Chelsea.
He's not a bad level then for a loan for a young lad.
I think it's League 1 or 2. Well, obviously, it's going to be League 1 or 2. But I mean, I do want to play Crawley. I mean, not to bully Eddie Beach, just more because we need our revenge, don't we, for what they did to us in the FA Cup. I am angling for revenge against the League 2 side.
I'd take him now because after Mellier's performance yesterday.
How you doing, Gary? Outrageous.
Hello.
Outrageous goalkeeping. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to sit dig him out and get him out of the club. But how can you defend 4 shots on target, 3 goals conceded?
What's the reason 4 on target? I'm sure there was only 3. One of them wasn't really a shot. Just trickled through to him. He made no considerable save yesterday. Absolute fucking garbage.
How you doing, CV?
He's as reliable as a cobweb in goal.
Yeah. And people will say, oh, who are you going to get? That's a better goalkeeper. I'm like, well, that's the point. You sell someone for high and then you get someone for lower that turns out just as good.
I've got the perfect answer. Right? That will stop more one-on-one shots. Casper the Friendly Ghost would stop more shots than Melier.
Well,
don't matter who you're getting. Get a stick in. It's going to do more joy. Get a traffic cone. It's going to stop more shots.
True. Well, I'm glad Gary is here because Gary could see. I found this. There was an article about a dinner with his players. Mikel Arteta secretly hired a team of professional pickpockets. The sleight of hand artists, as they call them, were tasked with going around the table pinching phones and wallets from the unwitting first team squad. Now, obviously, if you Simpsons-fy it, boss, the squad have asked me to come and speak to you. We're all worried you're slowly morphing into a supervillain. That's madness. I mean, I know the real point behind it is that he wanted his team to improve their awareness. But surely there are ways to improve awareness without having the players' stuff all stolen at dinner. The Arteta model.
Surely that's still a crime.
It probably is.
It's a crime, whether you look at it or not. It's conspiracy as well because he's pre-hired other people, so he's spoken about it with others. So that carries more of a sentence. So he should be in jail right now.
Interesting. Gary says, I heard Tom gave 10 rating to his favourite player, Brendan. Oh, we'll get to that. We'll get to that, sir. We've got On the Stoop. God, that's a name I haven't heard all summer. It's Lolo, I believe.
Lolo. He's on European hours, that's why. Bless him.
Oh, Lolo's awake. Yeah. He's always awake. I don't know why I said that. If we're doing a stream at 6 a.m., it'd be like, oh, it might be 2 a.m. where Lolo is or whatever. But yeah. So
Bless
hello,
him.
Lolo.
Enjoy your holidays, Lolo. Enjoy your vacation, my friend.
You're enjoying, I believe it's Vigo. Not that I mean to give away where you're located, but I'm not going to Spain to find you. So I'm sure you'll be safe. Jimmy is here with Evening All Talk about ups and downs. Lolo on tour. Yeah, anyway. So I should have done the song.
Have we got any more roasting?
Oh yeah, I've got a couple more LOCB referencing. Couple was the one you sent me. Well, actually, tell a lie.
I sent you two, didn't I? Yeah.
That's true. I got one more. This is Arnie Slot. The last time Arsenal won the Premier League. Just throwing it out there. That's the facts.
So you had hair then, once upon a time.
He was no longer. He was not a bald. He was not a bald fraud, as I believe the saying is. But as Ben did send me early in the week. To be fair to him, you don't put too much stock in the league table winner in the week one, because don't try to predict the league before the season starts. It only makes you look stupid, as it's impossible. Manchester United, then Everton. Very good, very good. Not a fan of those two teams. So, yeah, it's my last week in Spain. You had fun, sir. So I've got two more. Not a nicer feeling than lying in bed feeling your baby kick. Someone immediately responded with, ever won a football accumulator in the 90th minute? That's a pretty nice feeling.
I've lost one. I had 7 sections, and it was a wild one for 2,700. Yeah, 2,700, and it was Fulham Crystal Palace, and I had Fulham to win, and I had all 21 teams come in, and I think Palace equalised in like 93rd minute or something. Bet went down. I haven't really bet much since.
I mean, say pleasure in your misfortune, but it reminds me of one enters my mind when I used to do like 8 teams, like both teams to score, and what was it? Newcastle equalised against Man City. I think it was a 2-2 draw. It would have been about 10, 11, 12 years ago, and that won me about £40 in injury time, and for 50p. And I remember specifically running around my living room. It looked a bit like, I don't know if you've ever seen it, at the time Homer Simpson tries to chase the back of his own head, and he's lying on the floor, and he was like, it's just a circle going round and round. Yeah, that was me. I was thrilled, let's just say. I've never been more happy to see Newcastle score. That tape was class. That was all Ben. That was all Ben. Hello, Richard Jones.
Yeah, I just read that there. I'm not going to judge him on yesterday, because I think he did all right yesterday. Obviously, he had a couple of half chances. Maybe could have done better with it. But I'm a mass believer in this league that if you shoot, you're going to score. It was proven yesterday. They had 2 shots, 2 goals. And don't get me wrong, like one of them should not have been a goal. The second goal, fine, it was a good goal. But it just goes to show, look, take a shot from outside the box, you never know. But the first goal, you're going to get worse keepers than Melier in this league that are even more made of glass than he is, believe it or not. But I wouldn't judge him on just yesterday. But
well,
if you're going to get back up, you need to get rid of Bamford.
For the benefit of anyone who's listening and not watching specifically, Richard Jones in the comment section has said we need a striker and a goalkeeper. Not confident enough of Joseph. Sorry, I'm paraphrasing. Not confident in Joseph to score double figures. I mean, I don't want to take pleasure in him not scoring, but you know how like there was a certain Leeds podcast that was basically having him nailed on to score 40 goals, which then creates a bit of laughter because it's like, based on what?
Wait, on what basis can you? Yeah, I believe there's a couple of other podcasts. I ain't going to town on anyone's podcast. Everybody's entitled to their own opinions, but it's like it's more in hope than in any like safe knowledge that it's going to happen. We need him to perform because at the end of the day, we know what the alternative is.
I don't think they gave him the ball enough. That was my main issue. For me, the main reason he probably won't get 40 goals is because I'm not confident enough that they are confident enough to give him the ball. Because a lot of the passing patterns, for good or for bad, a lot of the passing patterns were basically non-O to Ruta to someone.
It comes to Ruta and goes out wide, doesn't it? Or Ruta's already out wide. Whereas it's very rare that it's a through ball through the middle. I know there was one yesterday, well, there was two, because obviously one to Aronson as well, but it's very rare that you're going to get that ball that just...
Yeah. No, I know what you mean.
That ball that just finds its way through the middle. So for me, for Joseph to get double figures, he's going to have to be a sharer, like coming in off crosses and being clinical that way for me.
Needs to get in
but
position.
He seems to have a lot of tools in his locker. He does seem to have, a lot more to offer than Bamford. Hey up, John. Did you have a nice vacation, John?
I'm not digging him out. I don't think he was the worst yesterday by a long stretch. I mean, I'm sure we all have feelings on who had the worst day yesterday, and unfortunately, one of the new boys, in my opinion.
I don't know, to be honest. For me, look, you can argue with Bogle. You don't give the referee that decision to make. But other than that, and he's finding his feet in a new defence. For me, the worst player on the pitch yesterday was fucking Rodon. His passing is atrocious. And I thought it to the end of last season as well. The guy can't pass for shit. And I'm not just talking like Ampadu sort of passing where it's travelling 30, 40 yards. I'm talking your basic 5 to 10 yard pass. It's atrocious. And I said to my dad yesterday, and I can quite see Fobert taking his spot.
Yeah, it carries on like that. My fear with Rodon, it was basically he's playing for a job. Now he's not playing for a job because he's got a 4-year. I don't know if the 4 years is right. I've made that off the top of my head. But for argument's sake, he's got a 4 or 5 year contract. He's getting paid. He's getting paid for the next majority period of his career. So
I don't question his commitment personally, and I think he gets as frustrated as anybody when he don't play well or something goes wrong. But the basic necessity to be a professional footballer, in my eyes, is you can pass the ball.
I made one pass that was atrocious. Pardon my language. One of the passes where he attempted to chip the ball through, and it just went straight out for a goal kick, if I remember rightly. That pass was an absolute abortion, and I shouldn't use that word to describe something, but it was. But you move forward, you move on. I want to say hello to Director John, of course, who popped up to say hello. How you doing, John? And Scooby. Scooby's actually did say, Scooby has hit on something that I feared. Basically, we've now got 2 Junior Firpos in the team because I love Junior Firpo, which is partly why I was very annoyed at the defensive frailties of Bogle, because it's endearing when it's Junior. It's not as fun when there's 2 of them.
We're all going to forget about these defensive frailties when we're winning 4-0, 3-0, and we've been lucky in the Championship because it's Championship quality through on goal and whatnot. But they are there. We need to start looking at what we are. And I feel that too many people feel that we've got a God-given right to be in a Premier League, and we haven't. Yeah, we're a big club, we're a massive club in respects to this league, but it don't give you a right. You've got to be run right. You've got to be, everything's got to be right throughout. And we're not anybody special. It's like, I agree with KG when he says, look, no excuses with Farker. We've got promotion or nothing. I agree with that. But on the other hand, that should be every club's mentality. So Portsmouth should have had that mentality coming to Leeds yesterday. We want to be promoted to the Premier League. Nothing else will do. You know, that should be your club's mentality, not survival, not even if, let's say, we go up and we're a minnow for a few years. Our aim should be to win that league. Otherwise, what is the point in competing in it?
That's fair enough.
We don't have a God-given right to win a football game. And I feel yesterday, everybody got ahead of pre-season and the good vibes. And it's easily done. I was included in that, you know. But we sort of forgot that there's an opposition coming to play football that want to win a football game, regardless of the tactics they use to get that result. You know, it's not just, you can't just turn up and take the 3 points. You've got to earn the 3 points. We've got the players to do it, and regardless of whether we've got the manager to do it or not, and it's all well and good saying, oh, Farker out, this and that, but who do you replace him with right now?
There's no one. There's no one. You're not going to
tell me a good person to replace him with, and then maybe I'll listen.
Two-time championship winners don't grow on trees.
No,
and certainly not.
And regardless of 90 points wasn't good enough. 90 points is not something that gets you sacked. It's not.
Obviously, yesterday's result, not ideal. Could be worse. You could be Wayne Rooney sitting there going, oh my God, what am I going to do? Don't get Don Goodman on commentary. We'll get to him. Don Goodman sat there making excuses for Wayne, going, nah, let's hold on a bit. Before we all criticise Wayne Rooney, like their mates called him Wayne. I can't remember if he did anyway. Before we criticise him, for all we know, Sheffield Wednesday could end up sixth in the championship, and then you'd end up looking at this result like it's not as bad as it seems. It's like he still lost 4-0 on the opening game, and yeah, no one's ever been relegated in the opening game, same as no one's been promoted in the opening game.
Exactly.
But who wants to lose 4-0 in the opening game?
It reminds me, right? It just tells me that when it comes to pundits and the championship, I get why Leeds are odds-on favourites, right? A lot of Leeds fans bet on Leeds, boost the odds, whatever, lowers the odds. But also, you're going off the back of 90 points last season. You're going off a two-time promoted manager. You're going off a squad that's considerably better than a lot of this, if not all of this league. But then when you're going, and I've got nothing against Sheffield Wednesday here, so any Sheffield Wednesday fans, I'm not pulling your team apart here, right? They did well today, and regardless of the rivalry in Yorkshire, I've got a few Wednesday fans who are mates, and I like them to do well. But on what grounds are you going to finish sixth before you kicked a ball today? Well, because you had a little good run towards the end of last season, a new manager bounce, let's say. It doesn't give you any grounds to say, oh, Wednesday are going to finish in the playoffs. People don't have a fucking clue in this league. You can't predict this league. Ipswich proved that last year. You can't prove it. And I hope you do finish in the top six. I do. The more Yorkshire clubs in that top six, the better for me. Other than Sheffield United, I don't like them twats.
To be fair, Goodman was just saying, in case they did finish top six, then you look back and go, that ain't a disaster. I mean, it is a disaster result, but that was the point he was trying to make. But still, I mean, you don't really know what he's talking about. But still, just to make it clear, I'm not saying he said they are going to finish sixth.
I know you were personally, but yeah. I'm going off a lot of noise that I've been hearing pre-season.
Oh, okay.
Different like championship podcasts, YouTube shows, stuff, different pundits talking. And I'm just thinking on what grounds, and most of it is because they think.
Yeah.
I think
It's
a lot
like
of things.
the
It's not going
QPR
to happen.
manager. QPR beat Leeds 4-0. In that match, we had nothing. We had no. We sat here and basically we lambasted our own football team because we did not deserve anything from that football match. But
No,
then
not at all.
QPR were going to go away and sit there and feel like, oh, we beat Leeds United 4-0, and we're going to have a good go at the league this year. It's like, yeah, you should want that, but again, you're where you are. You're in that situation in the first place for a reason. I mean, Sheffield Wednesday, to be fair, their financial issues are obviously well documented, things like that.
Right. Sheffield Wednesday don't sit there, right? And no, this isn't any disrespect to Sheffield Wednesday, but no team's going to Hillsborough to raise their game.
That's what I was going to
No
point
team's
out.
going there, right? No team's going to go there with a game plan of, let's sit behind the ball, disrupt play, and try and nick a set piece. So and I get there's a couple of other teams that will get that. Like Leicester will have got that last season. They dealt with it better than we did. I'm not saying, look, I don't even know what I'm trying to explain there, but
No, I get what I surmise you're saying is what I think. The fact of the matter is that I sat and watched Portsmouth work really hard at Ellen Road yesterday, and they did. Do I think they deserve to win? No, but at the same time, in hindsight, I'll sit there and go, we deserve to win because just based on the volume of statistics. But the reality is they work really hard and they're going to go home and feel like they deserve their point. And it's arguably true based on how they worked, defended, etc. But the fact of the matter is they are going to go to Luton next week at some point. And then you'll see how good Portsmouth really are in this league because no one goes to Luton to work their arse off.
The one team I'll give respect to from last season, even though it didn't work out for them in the two games, but in the long run it did. Ipswich. They came to Ellen Road, right, and played like, we're going to win this game. They got picked off. And I understand why teams do it. I'm not saying I don't, but are you happy that your team's that team that goes to Ellen Road to sit behind and try and squeeze a point, and if you're lucky, get 3? I want more from my team than that, and I'm glad that we're not that team.
I was embarrassed for Sunderland last year celebrating their 0-0 win at Ellen Road. I was embarrassed for them. I was furious at the time because obviously the handballs they got away with. On that night, I've rarely been more pissed off as a Leeds fan. I could tell you that for free because obviously we deserve to win. Yeah, Sunderland when
and this is a club, right? This is a club that rivals Leeds United in size. Let's not. There's no qualms about it. It's a one-club city. I know they've got Newcastle next door, but Sunderland are a massive club. And I was in Portugal and I walked by a bar and Sunderland fans shouts out, "Oh, thanks for the point." And I said, "Oh yeah, thank you for the point." But thinking, and then I look back and I went, "Is that what you've become? Celebrating a point at Ellen Road?" And he looked at me and I just thought, exactly, that's what you've become. You're celebrating a point at Ellen Road. It wasn't 15 years ago where you was playing at Ellen Road on a level playing field trying to get all 3 points. But that's what you've become. So
that's literally what they've become. There's a slight sidetrack before we get into more of the game, because there's something I noticed out there flying. Do you know where Real Mallorca went on their pre-season tour in England? Ben, it's fantastic stuff. Even better. Shout out to the staff member of Mallorca who organised the most no-nonsense pre-season tour of all time. They've seen some glorious sights this summer. They went to Crewe, to Barnsley and to West Brom.
Wow.
We've played friendlies against Crewe, Barnsley and WVA, and by gum, put them on the map. Amazing. That's incredible. Just we're going to be proper prepared for the season because we've gone to 3 of the shittest towns in England. And I include Grimsby.
It's a funny place, Barnsley. It really is.
put
Jimmy
it
will
this
know
way.
more. He lives closer to it. But
I'll put it this way, lads. There's a meme about there being a Love Island Barnsley with loads of fat people running along a beach.
if I said to you, right,
if your town don't have a reputation. Sorry, sir. Cool.
if I went to you, oh yeah, pop it in oil, what would that mean to you?
Based on my knowledge of your accent, it's pop it in the oil, but
Yeah, what's oil? Oil is hole. Pop it in the hole. Pop it in oil. That's what they're saying, Brad, in Barnsley. Or Gior, meaning give over. Gior.
Don't talk English in Barnsley then. All right. That's
Fucking don't, mate. Listen to Mick McCarthy. He's from Barnsley.
Barnsley is the toilet. Best thing is the tarn. In the tarn.
Town. Yeah, I'm off to town. That means I'm off to town.
So then always. All right, get it. So
if you're watching this and you're from Barnsley, I'm not really offending you. I'm just having a laugh with you and your 6 toes.
If you're watching this and you're from Barnsley, I'm sorry. Oh no, wait, no, sorry. No, I heard you, Ben. I'm just sorry that they're from Barnsley.
They're probably sorry too.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the film Kes? That's from Barnsley, isn't it? Kes. It's about fucking Kestrel. It's a good film, actually.
Well, as we do on a weekly basis, I suppose we should probably get into the squad. What would you have changed in hindsight?
Like everybody, I wouldn't have changed anything. I was happy. We were all happy with the squad.
I would play that team
right?
again.
We knew from the friendly the week before Valencia that's your starting lineup. You had an idea. Everyone's happy Joseph got his chance. Jorginho was firing, Monto, James. Look, currently, as we speak, that is the strongest starting 11, barring Illan Meslier. And I still think Darlow's a better keeper, even though he's not covered himself in glory in the opportunities that he's had so far.
That's the problem.
You give him a run in the team and a few games, confidence comes back, the rustiness disappears. Then you're going to get what you see from Carl Darlow. He's a better keeper in this league than Illan Meslier.
My problem with Illan Meslier, right, and I don't think I'm really unfair in saying this, is that basically there's always the worry until he makes his first save. Because until that happens, the first shot against us has got every chance of going in. Because he is a confidence player. And as soon as he concedes that first shot on goal, you're fucked. Because then he's done for the afternoon. Because anything else that then goes flying at him, Ben, is probably in the back.
Do you not think that runs through the whole spine of the team? You seen Rodon fall on his arse yesterday, right? In despair, as he did with Bamford when he missed a penalty last season, or the miss at Leicester, or whatever it was. But you've seen him fall on his arse in despair, right, when Aronson missed that shot at the end. Do you think he doesn't have the same thoughts and same distrust and same as what's behind it?
Yeah, I think it's systematic of the team for the last 3 or 4 years. Is that in the Premier League, that defence has no confidence in the goalkeeper. Now, I'm not saying we should sell the goalkeeper.
It's from Casilla onwards, basically, yeah. Ever since the Derby game.
I think there was a period where they did have confidence in Meslier, because obviously when we were playing really well, like in lockdown and like the Championship in lockdown, and he came in to replace Casilla, it was fine. But generally, I think over time in the Premier League, it became evident that he concedes the first shot at him quite a lot. So then your defence gets terrified, because then they're literally protecting the goal. They should be protecting the goalkeeper, but they're actually essentially their goalkeeper themselves with no hands, because they can't use theirs. I could be wrong, but anyway.
I've just to sidetrack from that a second. Going on to that there, most teams don't hit the bath. Where was Gruev's free kicks last season? I'm sorry, but that was a peach.
was lovely.
You don't
Don't
just
get me
learn
wrong.
to do that over a summer.
Don't get me wrong, Ben. Well, he obviously had it in him because most of them end up going
You
to
just think
Somerville.
there was a hierarchy last season then that was like Somerville being it.
Well, yeah, he thought he was king shit, and it could be argued he was right because obviously
listen,
he was top scorer or whatever.
Going on to that, and look, this is not hating on Somerville, but I got the feeling like every celebration that he did last season and to the cameras, it was all about advertising himself. And I got that with the penalty argument, and I just got that there's a selfishness, and maybe you need that to succeed in life. I don't know, but that's the vibe I get from Somerville. He's very, very selfish.
That's true. I mean, it's fine when it's working. When he's scoring 20 goals and you think he's going to fire you to the Premier League, you're like, yeah, good, go for it, sort of thing.
Yeah, and I'm all grateful for that season he gave us. I'm not a Somerville hater. Look, the guy's a talent. I don't wish him well because I don't wish West Ham well, but I don't wish any ill on him. Just do enough to give us our money, and then that'll do.
I want him to play well enough to trigger all the clauses.
Yeah.
I want him to get his Holland appearance because allegedly that gets us £10 million. Again, don't quote me on that because that's just wild bread or whatever. Yeah,
I think it's 5 million sensible. West Ham add-ons, and then there's the 4 million if he gets his full debut.
Sounds more right. Ello
Rise to 34 million. Which ain't bad business, to be honest.
Well, we'll go on to it. Don't worry, we'll go on to the penalty. Because I just wanted to throw up. Obviously, this is a Portsmouth team for people who like this sort of thing. I fully believed that Sean Essie was going to have the game of his life because obviously he really wanted to be playing for Leeds.
Shocknessy.
Yeah.
I only heard because Jer's Irish. And he pronounced it properly the other day for everybody. Shocknessy.
Oh, fair enough. I'll tell you one of their players that I did like. And I shouldn't say it because they're on the subject. As soon as that Sadie came on, he was a thorn in our fucking side. I couldn't stand him.
I thought look, regardless, the fucking fouling was just ridiculous. And that's down to just inconsistent, poor refereeing personally, but they played well, man. Look, they had a shit start, right? And look, we should have blown them away in the first 20 minutes, but we were 1-up, and it was in our hands to build on it. But they came up with a plan of slowing the play down, breaking the play up, and it's everything that we hate. And they clearly had that plan, and they executed. They nearly got away with it. Very nearly, but then very, very nearly, and should have come away with nothing. And deservedly, you wouldn't have argued if we had a 1-4-3 that we deserved it. But looking back at it, they were worth a point.
Look, you're right. Like as I said earlier, both teams could argue that they could have got something out of that game because Portsmouth was seconds away from winning the game, and we were seconds away from winning the game. We were one kick away from winning the whole thing. We didn't, so they got the point that they ultimately would have. They'd have killed for that point before the game. If you went to Mourinho 2.0 in their bench on their bench, basically, would you take a point before the game? He'd be like, yeah, thank you very much, because that's one I didn't expect to get. To be fair, a lot of teams are going to come to Ellen Road with the same thing. They're going to be on TV. Like, and I know this sounds really silly, like Premier League fans listening to this, but it does count for a lot in lower league football when a player knows that most eyes are going to be on him because Leeds United are in town. For example, the amount of people I imagine that bypassed on the Sky Sports Plus or whatever they call it now, bypassed the Oxford Norwich game to watch Portsmouth versus Leeds. I know meme groups that actually expressed they were doing exactly that. They were like, what game should I watch? Probably going to end up watching Leeds versus Portsmouth. Loads of them.
And they got
All
entertained
said
for
the same
it.
thing.
They did.
They were right to do so. People that wanted a shock nearly got one. It had all the ingredients of a perfect football match, unless you support Leeds United. Outside that first 10 minutes was incredible.
But it's our expectations of our club through past ventures. We are not that team right now.
Mm-hmm.
We're on a level playing field with everybody in this league. So we've got to be realistic. We're not going to blitz through this league and win every game. Possible, it is, but is it going to happen? No. We're not even going to go unbeaten. It's not going to happen. We're going to lose to teams like Portsmouth because we've made silly mistakes or Mellier's let a daft goal in. And that's why you can never guarantee that you're going to get out of this league.
David Villamartins pops up after his summer off with, "Hi guys, I thought we were going to get mugged until Brendan Aronson popped up. Their manager was fair in his summary. He was happy with a point. Didn't expect our first 10 minutes. Yeah, I suppose that. Yeah, you're right. Like I said, I bet he couldn't believe his luck that it turned out the way it did. Again, he'd understandably be disappointed because if they'd just shut up shop after they went through 2-up, they would have won. But they didn't. Because obviously
I don't get how attempts to break up play though stops how you were in them first 10-15 minutes. They're like a steam train, and then all of a sudden we turned into a push bike.
We let them do that though, because basically, you know what we could have done? Just carried on doing what we were doing. But instead
why don't we carry on doing what we're doing? Who's the decision maker into stopping that happening?
I suppose the thinking behind it is we're in front and then you slow the pace down, which is obviously a mistake in hindsight. Because if we'd have gone 2-0 up on Portsmouth, it would have been game over.
But you ask any non-league player, right, that plays on a Sunday morning for a pub team or a Saturday afternoon for maybe a mid-county level team or whatever, you don't play with that mentality. And you don't even play with the mentality of, I don't know, you're 2-1 up with 3 minutes to go to preserve your lead, right? The mentality is go for goal. So why does that change, right, 20 minutes into a first half? I understand at that level why it changes with 5 minutes, 10 minutes to go, preserve your lead. But when you're only 1-0 up 20 minutes into a game, why all of a sudden does the tempo drop, the intensity, the forward passing?
I wish I could answer that because it winds me up then. When you're 1-0 up and you start and you give the ball to the goalkeeper and you're like, you sit there, you're like, it's kind of similar to what I think the square ball said, sounds similar. But it's true. Like, and you're 1-0 up, you give ball to goalkeeper, you're like, oh yeah, that's smart play. Like, keep the ball, keep control of the game. Literally control the game. But when it goes 1-1 and you're 2-1 down and you're doing the same thing, you sit like, why are you doing that? We need a goal. You don't get a goal by giving the ball to Ilan Mellier. In fact, usually you get trouble for that. Maybe I'm being a bit unfair on him, but
no.
But so basically, there's not really much I can do to change this. At most, I would maybe bring in Rothwell because I think Rothwell would do more of that charging forward that we like.
Well, maybe he was the one sub that I was calling for just before he actually made the substitutions. I was thinking, I didn't think the front line needed changing. I thought it was the midfield, you know, the penetration into the front line that needed changing. So therefore, the obvious choice there was Gruev for Rothwell. And I just thought that would have been that as a sole substitution for 15 minutes might have worked. But the fact that he took the two best players on the pitch off at that time, I know Nonto had a slow first half, but at that time, he was the most dangerous, most likely player to score a goal, and Dan James being the second. I just think he made the wrong choices yesterday with substitute. He killed the second half.
I'll tell you the main thing I think the team themselves did. Not necessarily a Farke decision, what the team, Leeds United and its players did, that basically I didn't understand what the thought process was. We won a penalty in the first half through Dan James running at their left back. And then Daniel James managed to get the same left back booked at some point in the second half. So I'm sitting there thinking, that's really handy. Now you just know, give the ball to Daniel James. Why'd they stop giving the ball to Daniel James? I didn't get it. They then went
because Nonto cut in and scored. So therefore, it went down Nonto's side a lot more. It's like, I know it's easier to see. It's far easier to see from a TV screen or a touchline the spaces and the positioning of the players than it is while you're on the pitch with the ball. But there's so many times where we just pick the wrong wing.
Hey Sam,
space down this wing, Firpo's out wide, and then Nonto's beyond him, and then we'll go down Dan James' wing where he's overloaded with defenders, and it's just like. But they're the levels, and that's what you pay for in the levels of football, decision making.
I found it infuriating. It's like we found a weakness in a team which, by all accounts, is they themselves thought they were a weak team. You heard about how they were all talking about their chances. They had forums saying that they were showing the price of losing 6-0. So at least after we lose, we can all make a bit of money out of it, kind of thing. And that's not arrogance on my part. That was just a thing that came out in the build-up. But
all the ability in the world, right? If you haven't got a footballing brain, it don't matter, does it?
Yeah. Well, to be fair, Sam, we did have pink kit last season. Although we got one right now, the fruit salad. I'll call it fruit salad. I know it has a few other names, but
yeah.
Anyway, so obviously, like, I know we're doing bits and pieces about the game, and for anyone who wondered, that's how Portsmouth lined up. No one cares about that.
No, that's not how they lined up.
That's how Google thought they lined up. They lined up as a back six, and they had one guy up front.
They're quite easy to get through though as a back six. Do you not think? Until it was the fouling, it was the persistent fouling that was killing me. It was obviously killing us as well as a team, but.
So what I find interesting,
a more reliable referee, and you cut most of that out. It's like, why was that his first booking? The left back, why was that his first booking? The penalty was a booking. I get he played the advantage for our goal, but just sometimes you can let it run on and there's not really an advantage, so pull it back. He did it once yesterday. I think it was the first time he gave advantage and then he pulled it back. But other than that, and I'm not saying he was great for them either. And the penalty, look, the only person to blame for the penalty is Bogle, really. Whether he was shirt being pulled or not, don't give the referee that decision to make.
I've got theories on that. All right. So obviously, I'm not doing the photos or anything like that now. I'm just watching the game. But obviously, we went 1-0 up with Pascal Strauch penalties. What did you think about the penalty process? As in,
I was surprised.
Well, because my first question was, who's going to take this penalty? Because
I didn't even ask that question.
Last year it was like a Royal Rumble every time we got one.
I didn't give it any considerable thought, right? Until I seen Strauch, and I thought, no, he's actually placing the ball down. He's not just holding it for someone, like what Bamford does. And once you've placed the ball on the spot, it's your penalty, innit, obviously. And I was surprised, but a little nervous in his run-up, won't lie to you. But, and yeah, fair play to him.
He's got a good record on penalties, apparently. Like, apparently he doesn't miss them. Yeah. Yeah, it was a cool as cucumber. And obviously that was him That was him. The look of a man who doesn't know what's about to happen in the next 30 minutes. But anyway, lads are having a great time.
Well, no fault of his, by the way. He was.
Oh no.
He was immense yesterday. My man of the match, personally.
Obviously, Mr. Bogle then decided to actually go full Furpo and decide to play the sweeper role, as I believe has been said in the comment, and keep Mr. Sorensen onside, who tucked it away. Lovely finish. Should never have shouldn't got to him. He shouldn't have been played onside. I'll put it another way. Hand of glass. Should have kept it out, but it didn't. I don't know what else to say about it, sir.
Cobwebs, mate, and the cobwebs. And I know technically, pound for pound, spiderweb is the strongest substance on Earth, or however they measure. I'm not a scientist. Yep. I'm just a fucking Yorkshireman. But when a football's going at it, it isn't. So he was made of cobwebs for me yesterday. I even asked Lolo if he could get me a picture of Melly made out of cobwebs on AI, but that didn't materialize. So, but that
AI was like,
I'm not defending him. I'm not defending him any fucking more. He's dog shit. He's fucking dog shit. He can't catch a ball. He can't kick a ball. Can't save a ball, so what fucking use are you as a goalkeeper? He just makes me nervous. I'm sorry, and I don't want to be nervous watching. I don't want to be nervous watching a football game where we're favourites to win a league.
I'm terrified until he makes his first save. As soon as he actually makes a save, I'm perfectly calm, because it's not one of those days. But when he does concede the first shot on him, we know we're in for a torrid time, because the other team knows it too. It's not like I'm the only person that is aware of it. They're aware of it as well.
Let's say you've got a job tomorrow at a bank, right? And you went into that bank, no experience, nothing, right? You're out of your depth. You realise you're out of your depth, don't you? So you have the humility to say, listen, I'm out of my depth here. You don't carry it on. Clearly, Melier is out of his fucking depth, right? So why don't you just say, listen, I ain't good enough, I'll fuck off. Instead of taking a spot up, right, with your big ego and thinking, oh, yeah, I'm in. No, you're not. You're shit. We know you're shit. You know you're shit. So fuck off. Obviously, I don't care if you like Melier or not, right? If you like Melier, right, you know fuck all about goalkeeping. Right, and there's just some retarded thing going on in your head where you think he's a good keeper. He's fucking shit.
There you have it. Callum Lang then scored the goal of his life, and you could tell it was the goal of his life because the way he reacted after he hit it, it was like, I did that. Amazing finish. Admittedly,
fair play to him. Goalkeeper. Great goal. But that's what happens when you shoot. That's what happens when you shoot from midfield. And I'm not going to criticise that, because yesterday we did actually look like we're going to start shooting from midfield. Midfield was a lot more positive attacking yesterday. It was, even without Rothwell on the pitch. Gruev had a couple of attempts. You know, it looked better. Do you want to know how I feel about Melly?
You can't catch.
I just don't like people, right, that try and convince everybody about their own confidence in themselves. You know you're not good enough. Clearly, you know you're not good enough. So why do you pretend to everybody else that you are?
I personally think he would have been out of here had there been an offer that came in. But there was no offer that came in last summer.
Because no one's fucking stupid.
Well, no, I said this in another Leeds forum or something like this, or Leeds page or whatever. I said, and I got slaughtered for it, but I'll stand by it. I'm like, the thing is, whether we like it or not, there is not going to be a market for a goalkeeper that concedes 100 goals in 2 seasons.
Was the Marseille thing? It was bullshit, wasn't it? The Marseille thing was bullshit.
Of course, it had to have been. Why would you buy goalkeepers to
on
see
what
100
planet
goals?
do they want him?
Of course it lies.
But
it's called a paycheck.
How shit must Darlow be? I get right. Look, I've never understood the process of. They do really well in training. I mean, I know you only get a snippet of the bullshit training when you watch the Leeds United training video because they don't give the in-depth tactics and stuff. But it's all right. You're doing all right in training, right? Carl Darlow can't be fucking dog shit in training. It's what you do on a Saturday that matters. And if you're consistently cocking up on a Saturday, then surely, right, the manager must be able to see you're not quite working. They do it with a striker, do they not? Bamford's not scoring, right? Crowd pressures him. Bamford's out of the team. Right, let's stick Pirro up front. Yeah, it's happened. So why doesn't it happen at the back?
Yeah. Obviously,
Alex
when
Cairns
in at half time, 2-1, we were all furious. Well, I don't think it takes a rocket science or Nostradamus to turn around and go, all Leeds fans were furious. It'll be 2-1 down at half time, Portsmouth, while Sky frigging themselves off at the prospect of an upset. It was beautiful for them. For us, nightmare. But come out, obviously, we needed to attack when we came out and basically scored immediately after half time. No. Personally, I think their goalkeeper should have saved it. I don't think it was a particularly strong shot. But again, I don't care if it's on our part. It went in. That's all that matters.
Brings up my point. If you shoot in the Championship, you're more likely going to score.
Well, you got to buy a ticket to try and win the lottery. But you're definitely not going to win the lottery unless you don't go to the shop and hand your pound over. And I know someone's about to write the lottery's £2.50 now, whatever it is. But that's the point of, like, you can't win it without playing, basically. And Ipswich bought a lot of lottery tickets last year. They shot every time they even saw the ball. Anyway, Norwich lost to Oxford. That is pretty bad. It was a lovely day for Oxford. Old Mother Shipton predicted Leeds fans are raging. Yeah, of course. Shoot, yeah. So again, now I understand where Leeds fans will be upset about the penalty because their player does have their hands on our player, but it's still a penalty. Whether the ref saw it or not.
What's more obvious is our player's got his hands around the other player's neck.
The ref sees him choking him. Like, how's that not a penalty? Like, people go, oh, you've chose a picture where, like, he's got his arm around his throat. It's like the fact it's even there is why it's a penalty.
On yesterday. I'm not going to judge his abilities on yesterday because...
Oh, I am.
Look, we've been crying out for a right back. We've got a right back. Right, he's a Championship right back that's had a little venture in the Premier League. Right, he's successful going forward. That should be enough for us in this league. It should be. Let's see. But I'm not going to judge him. I'm not going to judge anybody on yesterday apart from Mellier, because he's just fucking shit.
But basically, I've already got Firpo to, like, take to my bosom. I don't need a second Firpo. I've got Junior Firpo, but now we've got one on each wing. And Bogle up that end of the pitch, incredible. Like, we're going to make chance after chance.
He doesn't have the stash, mate. He's never going to win the love over.
He's never going to win my love. And but
not in the way Junior, and it's got fuck all to do with Junior's footballing abilities either. It's Junior's Junior. Junior's daddy's senior. What more do you want?
Sorry, now you've said that, I forgot I had this. Man, I love Firpo. He's the world's greatest man in the world. Greatest man in the world. But you're right. But yeah,
I've often wondered, going on to what Scooby's saying there, right? Yeah, I do as well. I hate defenders that can't defend, right? Which begs Why are they right backs and left backs in the first place? Why are they not wingers? Because they clearly can go forward. They're clearly good enough. They're better than some wingers at crossing balls. Some wingers, like inverted wingers, you don't get a cross out of them. Like as you've seen from yesterday from Nonto. Nonto's strength is not crossing a ball. But Bogle can cross a ball. Firpo can cross a ball. Right. So why are they defenders in the first place? Because they can't fucking defend. Neither of them can defend. This is modern wing-back shit. It is. It's this modern wing-back shit, right? It's, look, take that out of it. You either got a... Sam Byron can defend. He's not the greatest going forward. Gary Kelly, great fullback. Not so much the best wing-back, whereas Ian Hart wasn't the greatest defensively, but he was better going forward.
Yep.
You're not a defender, you're a winger, do you know?
I mean, obviously, Sam Greenwood needs to be fired out of a cannon for this, but he knew that right in it. He knew the Leeds fans are going to have him strung up for that, but well deserved. What's Gratz out of interest? Why would you not loan him out to Red Bull?
Yeah, but
Red Bull Salzburg, out of interest.
Sam Greenwood's named after a mediocre fucking Preston player. Do you know what I mean?
Obviously, in all seriousness, we do love Sam Greenwood. We do. He's our kind of Arsenal.
Don't make me put you on time out again, Sam.
Because of winger average at best, Willie's crossing was poor yesterday. Sam Greenwood's having a laugh. It was the first team that came to mind.
I get that they're average at best, but that's in the top league. You only need to be average at best in this league.
No, you said earlier on in your defence, you are right. There's going to be a game that we win 4-0, basically where half of our 20 shots will go in. And I'm not saying we score 10, but the point is, like, we'll win. We'll get 5 goals. We'll get 5 goals, and we'll sit here on Sunday night and go, that was really amazing. I love Firpo. I love Bogle. I love them both. They're amazing. But right now, that is not what happened. What actually happened was Jayden Bogle cost us 2 goals, 2 out of 3 goals. So, spoiler, he is my wanker of the week. And I know it's usually decided by Ben, but I figured Ben might actually go along with it. No. But Ben's got his ref watch segment.
Wanker of the week's not my decision. It's just, if I have a decision, a suggestion, you can run with it. Listen, you want to suggest it this week? I didn't have one anyway. I was too busy with my new segment.
Ben, you heathen. So called you a heathen.
All my friends are heathens.
Betting on double-figure scores this season. And let's be clear, this is a very light-hearted thing, which is usually born out of that moment of anger. And in fact, like, do I hate Jayden Bogle? No, but at the same time, he, in my opinion, he was arguably, as Ben said, Roden arguably one of the worst players, but obviously Bogle did 2 things where I was like, that actually cost us quite big in hindsight.
Keep that comment there. No, go back.
Tom knows I miss seeing Leeds in the Premier League. Feels right with Leeds up in the Prem.
Russ.
Martin was good,
Shut
but
up,
not as good as
tart. Right, shut up, you tart. Right. You had a better defence in front of your goalkeeper. That was a way better keeper than David Seaman. We offloaded that spunk bubble. We didn't need him. We bought that one back. Right? Not a chance. Was he a better goalkeeper than Nigel Martin? Not a chance. If you've watched football, you will know.
He shouldn't have been. Sorry.
You had a better defence in front of him, and that was the difference.
That's probably right. John. This theme song will be eerily similar, some would say. Bagel around here.
But I love you, Russ.
Choice. Aronson took his goal well. Fair to say. Bogle was dyslexic. Bagel, sharp, you tart. Classic Ben, you tell him. So obviously, that obviously led to Lang getting his second goal. To be fair to him, nice penalty. Credit where it's due. Portsmouth had some lovely goals, apart from the first one, which
I'm not
obviously
taking
shouldn't have
nothing
made his
away
name.
from them yesterday. I am bitter. I'm not bitter at the opposition unless it's Sheffield United Villa, where Villa's goal goes in and Sheffield United's goal goes in, but the technology's bust, and then they're a Premier League club and they're not. That's what I'm bitter at. Villa are a Premier League club, by the way, until they go down and go back up again.
I agree.
But I'm not bitter at like Portsmouth yesterday getting a draw at Leeds. I'm bitter at the fucking players that let them get the draw. Portsmouth played well. Fair play to them.
Martin not once twice the most expensive goalkeeper in the world, and he couldn't get in the England team due to London bias.
Exactly.
London bias. London and Paris and Tokyo.
You know all about that, Tom.
I do. Bogle is a dancer from Jamaica, and London bias. The England team was always mostly Liverpool and Man United players. It's true.
Yeah, but
2002
all
World Cup
Man United
was
fans
Arsenal,
are
Leeds,
Cockneys, so London bias.
England defence in 2002 was Leeds and Arsenal players, to be fair. We shared the goalkeeping duties and the defending, and still won nothing. So is what it is. Then some American lad scored. In all fairness, it was a nice finish.
That was bad goalkeeping. It trickled in.
Nice finish out of nothing. Shouldn't have gone in. Yeah. Through the player's legs. The goal he did score was harder to score than this. Spoiler. This does not end in a rapturous crowd where basically Brendan Harrison scored 2 goals in injury time and won the game for Leeds after his triumphant return from Union Berlin.
Do you know what it is? Everyone would have forgiven him yesterday.
If that had gone in, I'd done unspeakable acts to that man. But he didn't,
you know,
so I don't have
right.
to.
It'd have just all been aimed at Verbo. It'd have been like...
Verbo had been sat on the bench going, what have I got to do?
Yeah, just like maybe not sit there quiet like a little sheep.
I'd argue he wasn't better than Nigel Martin.
At least Aronson had the balls to face us. Do you know what I mean? He's just sat there and just like, oh, hang on. They might not notice me if I just slip in here. Fuck off.
The great thing with Leeds is you always win a game betting more than 2.5. With Leeds, 5.5 can sometimes net you some money, son. Big odds on 5.5.
Just don't bet on Leeds. It's a safer option.
Keep your money in your pocket. I'm sort of legally obligated to say.
Let's have a consistent way of doing things that's called Leedsy. There's a way of doing things, and it's very Leedsy, right? And yesterday was such proof of that.
I still don't know how this doesn't result in a goal, considering he literally just scored before it. I couldn't believe it.
It was the way it just curled away at the last minute. It was like one of them fairgrounds, you know, like games where it must have had a magnet in the floors, you know.
Yeah, for context, for anyone who hasn't seen it, this ball basically is headed for that bottom corner, and then it just drags wide at like the latest opportunity. And basically, my heart leapt out of its mouth and then just sort of nestled. And
it'd make a great gif. It would make a great gif. That.
Yeah. If you watch it, there's an angle that Sky have. It didn't actually show up on their YouTube of the highlights of the game, but Sky do show an angle on their coverage where basically you see from Joe Rodon's point of view where he thinks we've scored.
Yeah, and he falls over.
And then as he sees it drag wide, he falls over like a defeated loser.
But yesterday, he didn't have the right to be that critical of that miss because he was shit yesterday. Look, I know you're not going to get that every week, Joe, but the basics.
Keep your money, fuck it. Lucas Rugby has been in more of my dreams than I should care to admit. He is a great man.
I met that man 3 times. 3 times I met him. The best time I met him was shopping in a designer outlet in York, and he was with his wife. And he could see that I'd noticed him, you know, and he came over to us. Had a good 5-minute chat with him. Nice bloke. Really nice. And his wife was a lovely woman.
I'll say this about him. It says a lot about how in the early 2000s, a footballer said no to Manchester United because he didn't want to upset people and because he was happy where he was.
You can't forget his little sidekick that he came with, Philemon. Philemon the singer.
Yeah.
Bless him.
Scorer of the first Leeds United hat-trick solely in extra time, if you remember from a past question, against Walsall in the FA Cup, if I remember rightly. All 3 goals in extra time. If England played full Arsenal defence, we would have won Euro 96. Fuck it, just play the entire Arsenal team with all your English players. To be fair, it's 1996, so give it a year before half your team becomes French. So anyway, Howard the Chief, Seaman and Martin, both very good. Nine like Ryan Nicker, True Russ.
Yeah, half your team became French after 98.
Some say Danny Mills is still staring at the southeast quarter flag. Some say Danny Mills is watching footage of the time that we won at Highbury. 2-1 in the league and then 3-2 in the league. And you didn't win the league because we won the league. I mean, he is a cock and I don't like him. But we won a lot of games.
Do you know what else I think's a cock? He lives about a mile away. Paul Robinson. I think he's a cock. Some of the shit he comes out with. No, I'm not even.
And I'll tell you why I'm not a fan of Paul Robinson. I'm certain Paul Robinson doesn't watch this, but I do not like that he could not wait to get off the Titanic and join Tottenham of all teams. Tottenham. But then he turns up on Leeds United publications with his opinion. It's like, mate, you fucked off.
Tottenham don't need him.
You have no right to give your opinion on Leeds United. I mean, you can, but don't really want to hear it. But he's getting paid to talk about Leeds United when he jumped off the ship to go to Tottenham. Why? Give your opinion on Tottenham, mate. Talk about Harry Kane. I don't know if you won trophy or whatever.
I'd rather listen to Gabby Agbonlahor talk about Leeds than fucking Paul Robinson. Because it hurts when it's one of your own.
He doesn't like us. Yeah.
Yeah, it hurts when it's one of your own. Do you know what I mean? It's like the hate from within.
Yeah. I mean, admittedly, we'll criticise the team because obviously we want them to do well, and when it ain't, we call it out. But it feels like you're being paid to sit there and talk about Leeds United, and it's like, mate, I'm just upset that he jumped off the Titanic, quite frankly, more than anything, and it's like, go down with the ship. And I know you shouldn't really expect that of like a 20-year-old England goalkeeper or whatever. I mean, we had both England goalkeepers and Seaman, and I include Seaman. Anyway,
I'm just a believer. Look, call it tradition. I don't know, but in this day and age, no. And it's been like it for a long while. But I just believe in a bit of loyalty, and it goes so much as Archie Gray. I think he jumped ship way too early. At the end of the day, right? Look, we've done well to get £40 million for somebody that's had one championship season. Yeah, the talent's undeniably it's there, but it's not a guarantee that it's gonna succeed to that full potential. But I just feel when a club's give you that chance and gave you your first year, for you to then jump ship at your first opportunity, no loyalty.
I think he was pushed out.
You're 18-year-old, you're going to make your money. Do you know what I mean? You're going to make your money. You've got 12, 14 years to make plenty of millions. Right? And I'm not a believer in, they need to make as much money. Their careers are short. Not stopping them going working for fucking Tesco when they retire, is it now? Like the rest of us are working for William Hill or Paddy Power or Nestle or Asda, wherever you work. Nothing's stopping them. It's like they're above it. So you can't give me the sympathy, but you're going to make enough millions, right, to live off for the rest of your life. So why jump ship first opportunity you get?
I think as we've found this season, in the window, a lot of transfers that have been happening outside of like the top clubs buying whoever they want is essentially you would have found that a lot of youth team players are getting sold off because of the FFP rules or whatever they call it now. I know they've changed the name of it. And Archie Gray's a victim of that because there's no profit. Everything you get on them is profit. There's no. It's not a case of like I'm happy we made 25 times the amount of money that we paid for Somerville, but we still paid money for Somerville compared to.
Why have you got a
Archie Gray.
clause in your first professional contract? A release clause of X amount of millions, or a certain caliber of club comes in for you. Why have you got a release clause in your first professional contract? You should be over the fucking moon you being given that contract.
Because agents are greedy, and they don't teach their players to be appreciative anymore. It's basically, what can you get? If they want you to be part of their academy or be part of their first team, what can you get? Basically, I'd think it's selfishness of the agent more than anything.
If I ruled the world, it'd be different. There would be no agents. There would be no millionaire celebrities. There'd be no advertising people. Vote for me, leader of the world. I'm going to run next year.
So yeah, argument's sake, the game. I'm not a fan of these new graphics, by the way. It looks homemade. It looks like I made it, which is not a good thing.
Do you want me to make some?
I mean, you could. It'd be a lot worse than it wouldn't be a lot worse than this because this literally looks like a 10-year-old has just used a cut and paste.
It was the what badge did I see yesterday? Advertising something on Leeds United. Was it the training video? But it had this awful LU. It was shit. I'm gonna find it for you now. Just take the reins for 2 seconds, Tom.
No problem. So, seeing as we've essentially done the match, the main beats of it, I'll throw up that for anyone who was interested, those are officially statistics. Apparently, Portsmouth did have 5 shots, which I find really surprising because it felt like any time they went forward, they scored, and that's not a good thing because they hardly went forward. But is what it is. Apparently, we had 22 shots on goal, which feels right.
Press conference, that was it.
I didn't want to go. Think anyone said, Jesse, a good lad, came out and said this and that. Spurs pays wages after all. Probably does like Angie as a Celtic fan. I don't think he asked to leave. I personally think he was told. I think his agent pushed him to take the deal. I think the club pushed him to take the offer. Essentially, as the club, it would have been framed to him as basically Leeds United can't really function.
I'm just a fan of look. Nothing happens without you signing to it. But then maybe I'm just old-fashioned, and maybe it's blind love and the fact that I'll never be at that level and never would have been at that level. Maybe I'll never understand it because I'm not at that level. But I'd like to think that if I was at that level, that I'd be your Matt Letizia age, one of them.
I wonder who was going to say this. Stan Collymore was hitting the back of the net and Ulrika at the same time. Anyway, just a quick one that I found. Sorry, sir. Oh my
that
God.
One.
What's that?
I just thought it looked trampy. Leeds United press conference.
Hey, gonna get promoted this season? Gonna try. Not looking great. It's not looking great for the smiley face, or as I call it.
It's one game. It's one game, people. Come on.
Nah. But I'm gonna do the. If there's a joke to be made,
on the bright side, we're level with Sheffield United.
That's true. Target. We are level with Sheffield United because of their -2 points for. At least we paid our transfer fees on time. Yeah. It's gone dog. Oh my God. But I need to take that off. Right, so this is a segment for Ben. It's basically called Take It Away, Ben.
Twat in black.
Boom. Who is the referee for this game? Because I don't know his name.
Oliver Wankstein. Yeah.
What is your opinion of
twat.
Oliver Wankstein's performance in yesterday's game between Leeds United and Portsmouth?
So I'm going to sum it up as inconsistent, behind play, deluded. He just had no control, or he was just in. Final verdict. Final verdict.
Right.
I believe we have a slide for final verdict.
I'll do that. I can do that at the end if you want.
I'm just going to sum it up with that. Yeah, there you go. That was my final verdict.
His performance was shit.
Dog shit. Not just shit. Dog shit. So
Okay.
yeah, I'm not blaming him for the outcome of the match in any way. Right, that was on us. But that's another thing that brings me back to competence. You really know you're not good enough to referee at that level, but your fucking ego says that you are. You're not good enough. The linesmen as well. Absolute garbage. Garbage. And these are getting...
Dog shit.
They get paid. I don't care whether the professionals are only in Premier League level, but they still get a fee for refereeing this game, and it'll be several £1,000s. All four of the idiots. They don't deserve that money. It's just robbery.
So yeah, Dog learned that technique from Bielsa. He's best in the world.
If anyone disagrees with my final verdict,
I was going to disagree with that. But in all fairness, I personally think the referee, I've seen far worse. I've seen far worse in our time doing the show. I think the real issue with the referee was he was like a referee that wants to like let everything go, which is fine if you consistently let everything go. But then you eventually will decide to make a decision, which then will lead back to, well, why didn't you do that 20 minutes ago? And then everything falls apart. And I think that's kind of what happened.
I'd like to think that I could, and this is just alleged, well, not even allegedly. I'd like to think if I could get away with it, I'd host an annual referees ball in a shipping container. And when they all turned up, I'd close the shipping container and just send it to China and let them deal with them. And we'd be free of these wankers. Because I feel you have to be a certain kind of wanker, sort of. Go back to school, right? When you're at school, you have to be a certain kind of sad, friendless twat, right, to want to become a football referee. And I just feel that sort of stigma follows you throughout your life as a football referee. When no cunt likes you, not even your parents like you or your wife, they're probably drained by your miserable, sad existence. So we'd be doing them a favour by sending them to China as well. Just a thought.
No harm in that. We're just spitballing out here. We're not experts. We've just got theories.
Any referees that might be watching, which is highly unlikely, I'll be hosting an annual ball this summer. If you'd like to come.
Sam Greenwood wonders what Brazilian footballers do in their spare time when they join Siberian clubs and they're in the middle of nowhere in Russia. Interesting. They probably find the ladies of the night in Russia. Anyway, got some.
Believe it or not, though, I do not believe Sam Greenwood is the only person in the world with that thought.
Of course he's not. But he has a lot of faults. Yeah, he's got some wild theories, Mr. Greenwood. Wouldn't change it for the world. anyone who wondered, this is week 1 results. Obviously, this was made before Sheffield Wednesday absolutely demolished Plymouth and Wayne Rooney. They absolutely murdered them. It was glorious. I know I'm not supposed to say that because of our rivalry with Sheffield Wednesday, but there was no other way to describe it. It was embarrassing. I was embarrassed for Plymouth. I was embarrassed that Wayne Rooney sent a football team out there to perform the way that they did. But speaking of embarrassing, Derby County are back in the Championship. Being back in the Championship would be fun. And then the first match happened.
They just fell to bits, didn't they? Like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It's crazy, that.
Yeah, I'm glad they did. Will they fall to bits at Ellen Road? No, they'll put in a performance of their life like most teams do. Anyway, also, speaking of embarrassments at Plymouth, Adam Forshaw rocked up and they spelt his name wrong on the back of his shirt. You had one job, Kitman. You had one job. Rooney's mug at full time looked like barnacles on the bottom of the Mayflower.
That's embarrassing.
Then we'll be holding an annual celebration of football at Hull. All officials and devils are welcome. It is embarrassing. It's like as much as we say, like, if you're in the Championship, you're in the middle of nowhere, but you are still in the second tier of football in England. Like, it's not like you're playing in Bosnia Division 5, where like budget-wise you're £5.
You're playing for Wayne Rooney. That says it. Look,
yeah.
Regardless what you think of the fucking Muppet, right?
That's fair.
He's a massive name in world football. Your club manager's Wayne Rooney, right? And your kit man can't even fucking, or your shop guy, whoever does the stupid printing on your shirt.
It's true. It's true. And obviously that leaves
More the point, they can't even go get another one, right, and quickly get it changed in the club shop.
So obviously, Plymouth, having lost 4-0, are propping up the table after match day 1. And as we obviously say, no one's ever won the title on match day 1, but still, we're on the same amount of points as Sheffield United, who did win. But obviously, their 2-point deduction is why they are sat.
The more important question is West Brom next.
It's funny you say
I know
that.
We've got Middlesbrough midweek, but
yeah,
West Brom next. So, what do you think?
Well, let me bring up something else, because obviously, for anyone who wondered who will be playing next Saturday or next weekend, that is who is playing. However, I'm going to change it to our predictions before the month started. Ben, are you still confident of a 2-0 win?
Maybe not the 0. But I'm hoping, with it being West Brom away, I'm hoping they sort of come at us a bit. And it opens it up for us. But we're dangerous. We know we're dangerous going forward. We've got no qualms in attack. It's just putting the chances away. And I don't think we will be that leaky all season. I think there was 2 free goals. One was Melier's fault. The other one was just a perler. Can't do nothing about it. You know, maybe a bit better closing down, a bit better clearing. But it's not going to happen every week, that.
Well, that was the upsetting thing. We supposedly have the best defence in the league and conceded 3 goals from promoted side. It was wild. We will look back on that game as a wild game. If we end up getting 90 points again,
look, we all know we're going to tighten up at the back.
Yeah,
we're going to tighten up at the back. But it's finding that balance in it. As long as we can penetrate defences, we're all right. I feel we can outscore any team in this league.
I want to see a lot of guys that were on the bench at the weekend playing on Wednesday night. And then basically I want the same team to be out there on next Saturday to make up for their mistakes, obviously. And Bogle to actually show that he can defend. Because it's all well and good us saying, you know, He's a good attacker. Can he defend? And you know what I mean? The fact of the matter is, it's up to him to prove it. You need to find a happy medium between scoring and conceding. You need to find that balance where you concede more than where you can score more than you concede. I went the other way, right? I'm tongue-tied myself. That's true, Russ. But anyway, where are we at next? Sorry, got loads of stuff. Sorry, this is part where I worked out. Do you know something about Jayden Bogle, the main man of the weekend for me personally? Do you know he was number 37 at Ellen Road on the night that they knocked us out of the playoffs? And then he was doing the Spygate goggle thing. That is Jayden Bogle. Not that that really proves anything, but, you know, I've sworn at Aronson
what that translates to in Tom language is Jayden Bogle will never be Junior Firpo.
He will never be Junior Firpo because how dare he basically do something in 2019, not knowing he would ever actually play for Leeds United. And that is why Jayden Bogle is Ranker of the Week.
A rare time that a player gets it.
Look at him standing there, probably wanking. It's not. It's not. Just saying. Just saying. We are. The one saving grace of being in the Championship is that I get to watch Leeds a lot more than when they're in the Premier League. Because when they're in the Premier League, Ben, we're on TV at 3 o'clock. We're not on TV because we're playing at 3 o'clock. In the Championship, we play at 12:30 or Friday night. So I actually get to watch it. Sounds like Rudy's choice in Broffa. I should have read that before speaking. Bale should be on defensive training all week. To be fair, we should have known what we were getting because you should have seen his performances for Sheffield United defensively. Didn't get to do much attacking. Sky TV is fucking shit. LOBX, how you doing? I'm dying at work. I need some positive vibes, or at least some aftermath from Swedish Goddess. Funny you should say that. They're talking about Eureka Johnson. Yeah, Russ beat me to it. Joseph is Paddy Mark II, new and improved, and that's good. Bodle is Firpo Mark II. Slightly better, but that's not a good thing. It kind of is because Firpo's my boy. Firpo's my main man. And Ben, I promised you last week he'd be back. The dipshits.
The dipshits.
Well, I've discovered the name of the commentators for the Leeds United game on Saturday. The main commentator's name is Gary Taphouse. And a lot of people don't know Gary Taphouse because of a simple thing. He responds on Twitter. So people have not found him yet clearly. Because Don Goodman ain't replying to you on Twitter if you call him shit. Whereas Taphouse is sat again, can't wait for Leeds versus Portsmouth on Saturday lunchtime to get my season underway. People were like, good luck for the new season, Gary. Gary responded. He's like, cheers, mate. It's like, oh, Gary's a nice guy. Gary's not been criticised by Twitter yet. There's still time. Someone on Twitter actually typed out the words, actually love these graphics, and Gary Taphouse is a bonus as well. Taphouse has got his fans, Ben. Got one fan.
Taphouse.
Got a fan. Taphouse. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I kind of want to be commentated on by Taphouse just so I can say the word Taphouse.
It's Taphouse has got another account, hasn't he, that he's just replying to his own shit.
Yeah. Tom Cruise got himself in the Olympic closing ceremony. Celtic in England. Plenty of grannies in Brentford. Plymouth, sorry. That explains why he took the job. Tom Cruise is in the Olympic closing ceremony. Bloody hell. How do you squint that? And obviously, as we established before, the female commentator's name is Courtney Swoopman Kirk, which is quite a name. But someone tweeted out, following the game, A 6-goal classic between for Leeds and Pompey. Brilliant commentaries from Gary Taphouse and Courtney Sweetman-Kirk 9. And Sweetman-Kirk responded with, "Thanks, Lee. Glad you enjoyed it." I was like, fucking hell, what's going on here? People
She
are
was worse
praising
than
the
the other
commentary.
two fucking tits. I only watched the Sky highlights, right? And every time we had a shot, we should have done better there. I think once she says, "Oh, brilliant play from Leeds United," but everything fucking they did, fuck off,
Funny
you
you say that,
stupid
because
bitch.
someone else wrote, if you took a shot every time Courtney Sweetman-Kirk said in terms of, you'd be pissed in 30 seconds. And as soon as I read that, I was like, you know what? She did say that word a lot. Plenty of grannies in Brentford, Mr. Tom. That's where you're going, like, yeah. Brentford and Plymouth, same thing. Both shitholes. Granny Norma, nothing wrong with Granny's job. They're going down a Wayne Rooney section. But obviously, not too much on these lads and ladies commentating wise, because obviously no one's heard enough of them to decide that they hate them. So, but someone who they did. Should we bring back Andy Hinchcliffe? I think we should.
Let's do it.
I'm assuming Andy Hinchcliffe, Ian McGill, wants you to know that he's assuming Andy Hinchcliffe is the greatest footballer to ever grace the game of football. He always seems to know what everyone on the pitch is doing wrong. I don't know what game he commentated personally. I didn't care to find out.
It must have been Friday night, must it? Unless it was
it
today.
weren't Friday night. It might have been actually. Because on Friday night, it was definitely Don Goodman, because I've got some Don from Friday. But in a call over the summer, someone said, "What would you name this cat?" And then someone replied, Dan Freakin's co-pilot replied, "Andy Hinchcliffe." Andy Hinchcliffe. Anyway, I've got one called The Duality of Don Goodman, because directly underneath, Adam Kemp wrote, "Swear to God, Don Goodman has shares in Derby County," the shit he keeps saying. And then The Duality of Man, proven by Sammy, directly underneath, writing, "One thing remains consistent in the Championship. Don Goodman is an absolute wank bad commentator. He'd always been anti-Derby and will never change. Innate ramble constantly." Commentators can't win, man. They can't win.
No, but the one pattern that we are getting here is that they are universally disliked, right? So why the fuck does Sky still employ these idiots?
I'm glad you said that, because that's fed into another one that I found. But again, this proves not every commentator's university. These people are like, well done. You had a great commentary session. Whether you agree is not, but people are saying it. People back Don Goodman are saying one day Sky Sports will get rid of Don Goodman, and it's a day I really look forward to. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. It wasn't Emma Jones is back on LUTV Live or whatever it was on Saturday. I noticed, because she took the summer off.
Do you know what it is as well, right? Everyone's bewildered by her tits. She's a fucking airhead, right? And look, I'm not against Michael Bridges, right? But his fucking optimism and his positivity bullshit at half time yesterday, it was just so fucking LUTV propaganda shit. And I was just like, why don't you just say what you think, man? Instead of the fucking smiley TV way. That's why I like YouTube.
There.
People say what they think.
But I just sat there. I laid eyes on Michael Bridges. Got nothing against him. He had one great season with Leeds and then got injured, obviously. Essentially career-ending injury, at top level anyway. I sat there thinking, shouldn't you be doing this for Sunderland? More than anything, because obviously Sunderland, born and bred, came through their youth academy, then left to join us. But I was more thinking, like, why don't you ingratiate yourself to Sunderland? Obviously, it's a paycheck to him still. People waiting for Ron Burgundy to present LETV with Emma Jones.
That'd be great.
Well, he's kind of a big deal, some would say. The character. Who was the best player? Who was the best? Rooters. I always felt like we couldn't take Rooter off yesterday, no matter how bad his passing got, because he's a magician and he's capable of making things happen. That's why you punish everyone around him, because you know he's capable of making things happen. Emma Jones has had more pricks than dartboard over the summer, some would say. Russ Morgan definitely said.
I reckon Bridges banged her, allegedly.
Well, I'm not going to name names, but Beckford gets on well with her. Have a great rapport. I did read somewhere that Emma Jones does support Leeds, and I thought that's surprising. I thought it was just a paycheck, but there you go. Anyway, what else have I got? Someone, James Wright, sorry, did write. I've not missed listening to the prick that is Don Goodman. Steve H, who is obviously under the influence of some kind of stimulant or barbiturate or some kind of substance that is not strictly legal, wrote, I'm missing the inane ramblings of Don Goodman, as I saw last night's Blackburn versus Derby in a bar with no commentary, and similar with this Borough Swansea. I just want to feel something, even if it's disdain, despair and derision for Donald Goodman. How can you ever miss that man's ramblings? What's going on? What's going on? And again, the final one, because it was quite slim pickings, because obviously it's gone over summer. As you yourself said, on the interview during the midweek, basically Andy Hinchcliffe did say they're definitely in contention for the top six, to which Jamie Heron said, really left field from Hinchcliffe, saying that Leeds to be the top six. How have him and Don Goodman still got jobs? People out there saying what we were thinking. I think Hinchcliffe's worse than Goodman. I despise Hinchcliffe compared to Goodman. Goodman's mildly irks me. But I think his heart is in the right place with a lot of it, whereas I think Hinchcliffe actually is a prick.
Yeah. Bang average fucking left back, and he's a cock.
Have we addressed the Australian woman competing in breakdancing? What is her name? She has a nickname which makes sense because of her actual name. But the fact that she did her breakdance in a Team Australia jumpsuit in the breakdancing. Sorry, they call it breaking. Did you see it, Ben?
No.
It's
I've
a
got
treat.
better things to do.
You need to see this performance. It's incredible. Put it this way. Put it this way, Ben. There are people that are already saying if you mock it, you're sexist, or it's misogyny to mock it. But you should mock it because it got 0 points. But you should absolutely watch it. She was doing some kind of jive. I don't believe so. Scooby, you should watch it.
Excuse the volume.
I don't think she knew what breakdancing is. Was it Lolo in disguise? Scooby, it's hard to watch. I thought Borat infiltrated the Olympics. It's incredible.
Let's just have a report on it. Hold on.
Hell, I'll even sit here while you do it, while you watch it.
It's 48 seconds.
Oh yeah, it's not long. It's incredible. You don't forget this sort of thing.
Well, that's just pictures of it. What the fuck?
Sam, if I got a hold of Emma Jones, it'd be like waving a wand in the Albert Hall. Olympics. I know 5-year-olds that can break better than that.
That's not breakdancing. What's it doing?
It got no points from what I can tell. All the judges hated it. to get 0 points in the Olympics for doing anything takes some doing. I'm pretty sure. Even the people that finish last in the heptathlon get points. For a straw in the Dartford tunnel.
That was bad.
There you go.
Thanks for that.
It's one on earth should witness at least once. But something else we should all witness at least once is the Mr. Tom question of the week. Mr. Tom's question of the week.
Back in Brooklyn.
Yeah. Welcome back, Director John. And the beach volleyball went down well in my gaff. I'm sure it did, Russ. I'm sure it did. Well, I'm not sure if your missus was a fan of it as much as you were, but anyway. Name these 11 players who have played for both Leeds United and Portsmouth. I don't know what I'm going to do next week because we already did West Brom. Oh, there you go.
Ian Baird.
Yes.
Vince Hilaire.
Sorry, say that again?
Vince Hilaire.
Correct. We're looking forward to Alonso's ice hockey moment of the week, but it's the wrong show. Snoop Dogg gets around. He's in LA doing a rap with Dr. Dre now.
John Styles. Jimmy.
I don't think John Styles is correct. Scott Sellers.
Scotty Sellers.
Not correct. Lee Sharp is correct. Sam Greenwood is on the board with Lee Sharp, not Liam Miller. Not Scott Sellers either. Let me get my cheat sheet up. So the correct answers thus far have been Ian Baird, Vince Hilaire, and Lee Sharp. So 2 midfielders in the middle.
I'm John Styles.
There's no John Styles, sir.
I saw JS on John Styles.
No, JS is someone else.
Sinclair, no. Scott Sinclair.
Nope.
He played for Leeds, did he?
No, we had Clark Carlisle. To be fair, though, one of them is from that sort of era of Leeds just buying everyone and anyone that had ever played in the Premier League.
Andy O'Brien.
Correct. Andy O'Brien, defender. In fact, I'm going to put down the water and I'm going to enjoy a swig of Pepsi. Luke Murphy is correct. Steve Stone is correct, yeah. Steve Stone is the midfielder. I believe we bought him in 2004 to 2006.
Norris, was it? Midfield.
Yeah.
David Norris, yeah.
That's correct. You've got the midfield. David Norris. So you now need a goalkeeper, JS up front, and 3 of the defenders. Leroy Senior. Goalkeeper is Jamie something. That is correct, actually. But something is not correct.
Jamie Ash, something.
Yeah. Yeah, you're on the right lines.
Ashworth, Ashdown.
Yeah, Jamie Ashdown.
There we go. The process of elimination, people.
I don't believe there's no. It's David Norris. It's not Dees Narscary.
So
welcome back, by the way.
Luke Murphy. No.
It's not. You're all gonna kick yourself when I say it, because the name will go. It's one of those where you go, oh yeah, of course, kind of. Is Ian Bill up front? It is not. It's Ian Baird, as Ben already. Russ Morgan on the board with Jason Crow, although I know he already got Steve Stone. So Jason Crow, correct. Used to play for Arsenal. He got sent off for Leeds in one of his first games, didn't he? If I remember rightly. Jason Crow. I remember he played for Leeds in FIFA 09. I'm pretty sure. When we were in
I
League
give
One.
up.
Right. Okay. David Norris, wasn't he once convicted of
So we've got LM and CS.
Yep. LMCS. I'll give you a clue. He played yesterday.
Who for?
Not for us.
That cunt who came on and he was singing He's One of Us. Oh.
You
no.
taught me how to pronounce his name earlier.
Shaughnessy. Shaughnessy. Yeah.
Yeah, he came through our youth academy, if I remember rightly. Connor Shaughnessy or whatever it is. I mean, he don't play for Leeds anymore, so I don't really care. So got one centre back to address.
Is his first name?
I can't. Lubomir.
Milosevic.
Nope.
Oh. Maramovic.
Yeah, no, I'll tell you, it's Lubomir Mikhailic. Not a name you forget once you actually see it, because Leeds don't have many players that have an apostrophe in their name. So, is what it is. Got one more. Keep wondering, is Peter Swan. First name John. Sure, it's not an easy name for Anglicize. There you go. You know what? I will read out the clubs that the striker has played for. Help if I can spell it right when I typed it out. Right, give you a clue. Right, he's Scottish. He played for Leeds between 1962 and 1967. He left Leeds to join Aberdeen, then played 71 league games for Rotherham, then played 43 for Portsmouth between 1969 and 72. I've barely heard of him. But he was signed by Don Revie.
Oh, James Summer.
FA Cup runners-up medal with Leeds and Football League Second Division title from 1964.
Jock Stein.
Oh, it's not, I'm afraid. I'll give you a clue. It rhymes with Rim Rory.
Tim Story.
Yeah. And that is a complete list. My clues are not the best, admittedly.
Happy days.
But there you go. I mean, I might have to just rehash next week's one for West Brom. Actually, no, we're away.
Yeah.
I intend to do that if we're the home team. I will need to think of something else for next week. I could just get Russ to give me a. I'll message Russ midweek. Go, Russ, can you think of a question?
No.
Because I don't want to let people down in that way. Yeah, plays for Leeds and Portsmouth, apparently. Yeah, I'll take your word for it, Jimmy. Okay. So I put this in the wrong place, I suppose. But so, Ben, any final thoughts on the show?
No, just chin up. Let's go again.
Okay.
Wednesday night,
right.
Little distraction. I'm not bothered about Wednesday night, to be honest.
I'd
like the
to
B
win
team
it.
to win.
Yeah. That's basically it. I don't want to get into a situation where you start getting into like 3 or 4 games without a win, because then you stop talking about promotion, and then you know what I mean. It becomes precarious quick. But the best way to stop that is win these silly little cup games, and then win at the Hawthorns next week, and then win at Hillsborough the week after, for example. Thanks, Russ. Thank you, Jimmy, and thank you, Sam Greenwood. I really do appreciate your guys' support. I was going to bring up after the show, but I was thinking about, because Brownie was suggesting doing making a Facebook group for our show. I just wondered if that'd be a good idea to put topics up for the Leeds fans. That maybe I'm not going to do it now. I just thought I'd float the idea.
We'll have a chat about it. Yeah.
I wonder if people would be interested in that sort of thing. If not, I won't waste my time with it, obviously. But just thought I'd float that. But still, not related to Peter's story then.
No, but it's related to the never ending.
Never ended. Bet makes 2 changes, plays practically the same team midweek. I mean, if he does, it's their fault because they should have won yesterday. So they played themselves into a winning team. Facebook backing. Well, Jimmy, I kind of knew you were a no technology kind of individual. I don't know if that's the right term. Technophobe, some would say. Can you not do one? Social media. I hate social media. Maybe Telegram or. Do you want me to? Do you want me to get my carrier pigeon to send you what you think the team sheet should be? All right, Jimmy. All right. Okay. So that being said, thank you, Director John, for stuff you made for us this week. And so I'm going to go to bed right now because
me too.
Join for the crack. Why not, Russ? Why not? Because I'll probably put up such I'll probably put up such illustrious topics as I haven't thought of anything. Sorry, that's a lie. I don't know why I said that. But we could pretend Eric Cantona or Willie Nonto, biggest traitor or whatever. I don't know. Probably not the greatest idea. No, I'm thinking.
No, not the best 2 choices, but yeah, I get you.
Just, yeah, I mean, I've been banned multiple times on that site anyway. So anyway, have a good night, Scooby. Have a good week, everyone. Stay safe and all that kind of stuff, malarkey. Certainly do.
We'll see you all next week.
And as my missus' phone number if anyone needs me in a hurry. I'm doing all right currently right now. All how will Director John, obviously, the godfather of this show, some may say. The master of camera positioning, some would say. Got real fetish for it. Anyway, it's a good night. It's a good night from him. It's good night from him. It's good night from me.
Right.
Take care, everyone, and see if I can remember to play the outro. I found the outro. I'm not going to forget for once. Have a good night, everyone. Take care.